She said, do you happen to have some of that elderberry tea?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got elderberry and morel. We've got elderberry turmeric ginger. We've got elderberry sleepy time. We've got, you prefer it neat?
I prefer it neat, yes, if you don't mind.
Coming right up.
She goes, but not the elderberry smooth move. Thanks.
Good thing you said something. She sort of takes the current mug she has. You see her dump it in a nearby basin.
Elderberry smooth move is just thornberry tea.
Yeah. We revisit Pim and Dirk, who, once again, had a day.
Got themselves into a sticky situation. So we began our episode last with Pim having a private council with Dirk's family.
Yes.
Telling them what she knows. And that information is that there is a certain kind of special iron that is very rare in the Ironlands called star-forged black iron.
Right.
This iron is only mined way, way, way deep underground. And she has reason to believe that there are some people attempting to extract power from this Starforged black iron. What's very interesting, though, is that when you heat it up, when you attempt to weld, when you attempt to smith this Starforged black iron, it changes its properties.
Yeah.
And she has reason to believe that it is emitting power that has a mind of its own. It is therefore infecting the flora and fauna of the deep wilds.
Yeah. In explaining that to Dirk's family members, we've also met Dirk's father, Mortar, for the first time. Mortar. Kind of puts their mind at ease, knowing that the problem isn't anything and everything. They can pinpoint it to a man-made problem that they can now figure out how to attack and solve.
Yes, they go to bed for the night. They wake up in the morning, and soon after waking, they hear a rap on the door, and it is a fellow member of the Watch named Dran, who has lost a young one named Little Benji.
Oh.
He was running the campers, the campers of the Watch, a little day camp.
The little day camp where they try to teach them how to become watchers themselves.
Yes, and they decided to just take them out at night for some reason, lost to Tessa, and to Tessa's great chagrin.
Yeah.
They decided to go on a nighttime field trip, resulting in the loss of Little Benji.
Yeah, he got plucked up by something. So in hysterics, Dran gets the help of Pim and Dirk
and Tessa.
And the four of them run out into the deep wilds to try to track down the whereabouts of that little camper.
Yes, and it happened to be a iron-wracked beast, a massive boar currently being infected by this blight of some kind. Little Benji was able to encage himself and protect himself in uprooted massive tree roots, safe from harm. However, it became very clear that they needed to deal with this iron-wracked boar.
And they killed it in one shot successfully.
Absolutely not. It took forever.
Just Pim took out one of her daggers.
No.
And she blindfolded herself and she threw it behind her back. She was like, check this out, guys. And it killed the boar in one shot?
Nope. It took a long time. It was a formidable beast.
Oh.
It took them forever, and resulting in, they eventually won the fight, but the casualties being Dirk is at +1 health. He has a massive wound in his abdomen from being gored by the boar's tusk. Tessa also sustained a wound in her arm that is also actively bleeding.
Yeah.
The two of them have been patched up. However, Dirk is in dire straits with +1 health. He's in really rough shape. And that is where we left our last episode.
I think I'm good if we just want to, let's just get up. Dirk throws up. He is sweating. He is pale.
Oh, no.
And he, my man's needs medical attention in a bad way.
Yeah.
We have Dran attending to Dirk while little Benji the camper is on his shoulders. He has settled down from since crying and is kind of going just to Dran, just kind of going, thank you. I got lost and I am sorry. I'm sorry. And he starts crying again.
It's okay. And Pim is only able to reach his foot, but she just kind of like pats his foot.
I was playing a game with Mark. Mark and I were playing a game and I got lost.
Meanwhile, Dran is like, little dude, it's okay, little dude. Don't worry about it. Okay? You're okay.
He is just a mucus factory.
Absolutely.
This little kid.
But Pim is realizing the task at hand. I
Yeah.
mean, Dirk needs medical attention right away. So she says, okay, the little lad is going to be okay. However, we have to find a way to get Dirk back. Dirk, can you stand up, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I'm telling you guys, I can and he gets the wobbles from standing up way too fast and he sits back down. He's like, I'll shake it off. I'm pretty sure it's and he looks down at his own wound that the bandages are now just kind of like damp with this dark red blood.
And Dran
and
has
he kind of just gets like, oh.
And Dran has since taken Benji off of his shoulders and placed him down. Pim has taken Benji's hand, and Dram and Tessa both give their shoulders to Dirk and try to stand him up. Three of them being 6 feet tall, they are able to support him adequately.
All right, let's go.
And
let's go.
Pim, along with Benji in tow, leads them back the path that they came.
Yeah.
Do we undertake a journey or do we? No.
I think we know the way we came back. We have 2.5 because Dirk is incapacitated, but experienced watchers who can just track back the way they came. Didn't go too far from town. I think they make it with little difficulty back.
Great.
Which I think can be another milestone for us in getting Benji home.
Correct.
We swore to Dran.
Yeah, we did.
An iron vow that we would rescue the little man.
Yes.
And getting back in town, some hours have gone by. It's now the afternoon.
Oh.
Since we went out and fought this thing.
Yes.
Walking back up, getting Dirk's hulking frame up the thick root structures back into the treehouse complexes of Borewood.
Yes.
You're greeted by Benji's mother, worried sick.
Benji! Oh, my sweet Benji! Where were you? Sweet boy.
Was playing a game.
Sweetheart. And she just takes him in her arms. He cries into her shoulder and proceeds to saturate her shoulder with mucus and snot. Oh, this poor kid. and she
Tessa looks at Dran and is like, well, tough batch of campers this year.
And I'm going to make a progress roll to make sure
fulfill the vow.
I guess we're going to fulfill the vow. So if you could turn to fulfill your iron vow for me while I make this roll. We're comparing 8 out of 10.
Yep.
And we'll see how this... Yeah, strong hit.
Strong hit. Your quest is complete. With Dangerous, we mark 2 XP.
Awesome!
Give me that XP.
Let's get that sweet XP.
I'm up to 3 now.
Yep, me too. Very exciting. And what else does it say?
It says, on a strong hit, your quest is complete. That's it.
Great.
Dran looks to Pim and then to Dirk, his buddy, who's like jacked up big time.
Yeah.
He's like, guys, wow. Thank you so much. You saved my ass big time. Big time.
And enough with the small talk. We've got to get him some medical attention. Let's go.
Of course. But before, quickly, if you guys ever need anything, seriously, name it. I'll help you guys out for sure.
Let's forge a bond with Dran real quick.
Hey, what?
Bless you.
It's the iron blight.
It's not the iron blight.
It's in Dirk's nostrils.
Not
it's in his
the iron blight. Amazing.
relationship. Forge a bond. When
Yep.
you spend significant time with a person or community, stand together to face hardships or make sacrifices for their cause.
Great.
Plus
Plus heart.
Roll plus heart.
Okay.
How's your heart?
Great. Terrible.
Okay, mine's
so
2.
You should roll plus heart then. You should do it.
How do we feel about giving ourselves a little homebrew +1 ad because we did him solid?
Nope. No homebrewing. We are trying to go buy the books here.
Okay, roll plus heart. Forge a bond.
Forge.
This is not straight progress. This is action die.
Yes. Plus heart. Straight miss on forging a bond? They reject you, but he said if there's anything you need.
He offered it. I think in fiction, it's not a strict
doesn't make
bond.
sense.
He's just like, whatever you guys need.
Great.
I owe you a favor, all right?
Sounds good. We don't forge a bond.
I
It's purely transactional.
I rolled the dice, and he's just like, actually, you know what?
Go screw yourselves.
Forget that.
Never mind.
Yeah, you guys beat it.
It's like, that's terrible. We shouldn't have to roll on that. The bond should be forged. All right, we don't share a bond.
Anyway, we're whatever.
Screw you, Dran.
No. But
Okay.
it's in in fiction. He's just like,
Just
hey, you
negate
guys have a favor in the future.
Great. It's transactional, whatever.
Yeah.
So Pym then leads the way. Benji has been deposited, and actually Tessa is going to lead the way back to the home. Although you know Borewood better than I would, is there some kind of healer's tent? Is there a place to really
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So Tessa leads them too.
Yeah, where Tava does most of her work, she kind
Nice.
of, if you would describe her as a chief of medicine, so to speak,
Cool.
of a lot of the healers of Borewood. You have watchers coming in from time to time getting banged up.
Yeah.
People out there trying to survey, take samples. They come back with some horrific poison oak something. It's just kind of, there is a center that does a lot of the healing.
Yeah.
And Tava, who's now, they just bring Dirk's banged up ass inside.
Yes. And Tava comes and goes, "What on earth happened to you?"
You should have seen the other guy.
And Tava smiles and says, "Baka, come here." And so Baka comes, her assistant, who she is training. I need sapwood, stat, and I need some more bandages, if you don't mind.
Baka immediately runs to start gathering those supplies, and Tava beckons Dirk to sit on this big, just kind of old wood kind of table, like this examination table, basically. And she lifts up his arm and begins just like peeling away the damp like wound sutures to try and just like rebandage, basically.
And she looks at his pallor. She looks at truly how much blood he's really lost. And she says, "Sweetie, we're going to have to put you to sleep. Just think of something."
Whatever you gotta do.
And he's not far from passing out anyway, but Baka brings some crushed herbs and spices that she then puts on top of a stone that is being heated by a candle.
Yeah.
She roasts these herbs and spices, and
Cool.
it starts to emit some
Yeah.
aromas. And she goes to Pym and Tessa, and she says, "Plug your noses." And she puts this burning stone. I guess you would call it like a little tiny hut with a tea light inside, and gesture and wafts the aroma to Dirk.
I'm just
with a
telling you
fan.
guys, like a couple hours, I'll be back at.
And he's out cold. She quickly blows out the tea light. The aromatic spices stop burning, and Baka takes that away. She then, though, steals a glance at her daughter, and she says, Sweetie, what happened to your..."
I'll be all right. You attend to him. I'm going to redress this. And Tessa looks at Pym and then back. And she goes, if she wasn't here, we and probably little Benji would probably be really, really hurt right now. So Pim here did a great job. I'll take care of this. Don't worry about me.
And Pim blushes a deep red. She doesn't really know what to do with praise like that. She simply says, I'm glad that he was saved. And then Tava then is back at the task at hand. She's working very quickly because Dirk has lost a lot of blood.
Yeah.
I think this is the heal roll.
Dirk's got
right?
I think I roll to heal action on Dirk.
Yes.
Getting help from his mama.
So I think that, where is that located?
That is an adventure
move.
moves.
Thank you so much.
So when you treat an injury or ailment, roll plus wits. If you're mending your own wounds, roll plus wits or plus iron, whichever is lower.
Oh, shoot. This is Tava.
Yeah.
This is Tava mending.
So this is a sojourn then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me see. In relationship, when you spend time in a community seeking assistance, and I can clear a wounded debility, or recover and recuperate, take +2 health for yourself.
Okay.
So this is a sojourn with the people of Borewood, which I share
seeking
a bond.
Assisting. Yeah,
They're helping me out. I
plus
get
heart
+1.
and +1.
Come on, Mom.
Let's go, Mom. You're like unconsciously rolling your dice. You're just like, the dice are placed in your hand and you just let them fall.
All right, let's go. That's a strong hit. Tava.
Okay, you and your
Tava's
allies
expert.
might each. You and your allies may each choose one.
You got jacked up
two.
too.
Yeah, I did. Actually, no, I didn't. But I'm low on supply.
Yeah.
We'll role play that in a second.
Cool.
So task at hand, we'll resolve mine, but yours is that you take +2 health for yourself.
Yeah. I'm back up to 3 out of 5 from 1 out of 5.
Yeah, this is great.
Strong hit. Let me just see. Mm-hmm. Strong hit. You and your eyes, mate. I get 2.
Oh, you get 2.
So I will also take.
You're low on spirit too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take recuperate and consort.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get my spirit all the way back up.
Great. So
spirit health 3, spirit 5.
I mean, your spirit should go up because you're in a coma right now. You're having a great time. You're just like chilling with some chickens and
the Borewood lacrosse.
The monkeys
It's
in the deep wilds.
Borewood lacrosse team practice.
Borewood lacrosse team practice. Great. They would play lacrosse. Okay. Great. So he's having a great time, but Tava is working quickly. She realizes that Baka is presenting her an array of jars filled with different kinds of sap and salves derived from animals or from plants, all from the earth. She quickly makes a bandage out of some leaves that she's ground. She then applies this salve and covers the wound and leaves her son to rest.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tessa has sort of gotten another assistant to help her with her own wound.
Yeah.
Again, it's sort of the same mixture of salves and things and a much more tight and much more secure bandage around her arm. But she finds that she has to sling it because it does, leaving it down, it really does hurt. So she is now in a sling.
Could I get... sorry, do you perhaps have someone, I don't know, with a little bit more experience who could, like, give these sutures another... They just look a little loose, is all I'm saying.
And the assistant's like, I'm so sorry, Lady Tessa.
No, no, you did great. You did great. I'm just saying if you have someone more competent, maybe? Just around?
And he is on the verge of tears. He's like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you seem stressed, and I want, like, maybe if somebody had more experience than you or was more apt, they would have done a better job, is all. But thank you. Wow.
I understand. And he goes and he leaves and he bursts into tears. And Tava then goes to her daughter and says, you really have to work on your tone, sweetie.
I was nice.
And she's stitching her up and maybe is using a little more force than...
Ow.
And she does a better job, ties the suture off, applies an ointment and covers her.
Gives it a stiff slap. once the job is done.
You'll be fine.
Mama.
Pim, meanwhile, is seeing that Dirk is out to lunch and might be for a couple days, honestly, from those aromatic spices. Feeling a little lightheaded herself.
He's just scored his 4th goal of the game.
His 4th goal of the game. She exits the tent, leaving the family, and takes a walk around Borewood. Is sort of a little shaken by how difficult that battle was. Is also down a couple arrows. Let's say that she has extracted her daggers from the boar's flesh, but she's down arrows and she needs to resupply.
Sure.
So I take the benefit from your sojourn roll.
Cool.
And I get to choose 2 from the list. So I'm going to take +2 supply.
Nice.
We share supply. So
Nice. Oh, that's
and
huge.
I'll role play that out.
Thank you, Borewood.
And I am going to plan. I'm going to take +2 momentum. So
Excellent.
I'm at +6.
Excellent.
So, gosh, rolling a strong hit on a sojourn is so key. Rolling a miss on a sojourn, catastrophic.
Well,
buildings will burn. Is all I'm saying.
Out of respect to Appanasia, that angry, terrible woman.
terrible, vengeful woman.
Still, that's
prideful.
You see Dirk start to stir in his sleep because all of a sudden the announcer on the lacrosse game is Appanasia's voice.
Oh, no. No, he's taking... This is all a good dream. He's recuperating all of his spirit. Yeah. This is a good dream, okay? There's no Appanasia. If anything, Appanasia's cheering Dirk's name along if she's there. So,
all of the cheerleaders are 85-year-old Appanasia.
So...
Appanasia Flyers, like tumbling.
God.
Yeah.
So bizarre.
So athletic. Hey, dreams are weird.
Dreams are weird. So Pim decides to, she decides to just take herself on a little date around Borewood. She needs to get some wind in her sails, but she also, this is heavy, what they've seen. They witnessed an iron-wracked beast.
Yeah.
And she really needs to take some time for herself to think about that.
Yeah.
And because she really has not thought that this could be that this could overcome a creature so massive as, I guess I'm only assuming it was an elder boar.
It was big.
It was a big elder boar.
It was a big boy.
That then now was iron-wracked.
Yeah.
And it could have been really bad for Dirk. And for Tessa both. So anyway, she goes in, she walks down one of the tree paths to market, to where, the residents of Borewood would sell their wares. And she's delighted by the craftsmanship and the artistry and so many things that she has yet to see in the Ragged Coast, which, has a lot of imports and exports, but very much made of metal and rough craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Very little artistry in the making of fine goods. And here she is delighted to see beautiful clothing, beautiful embroidery, real care and craftsmanship and artistry.
She sees
with these wares.
A home goods stall with the bells of fungus and mushrooms that have been petrified and flipped upside down to be these beautiful ceramic feel, like custom-made bowls that on the inside you see just like the webbing and the fungus intricacy being sold, and like little dishes. Like you can buy a whole like plate set of just like little like petrified bells of like fungus being sold at one kiosk.
Yes, and so she then, she looks in her quiver and she realizes she's low on arrows. She has 3 to her name, which is not enough. And she goes and she visits the Fletcher, named Bartimus.
Bartimus
Bartimus the Fletcher.
Bows and arrows for the mighty huntsman.
Okay, well, not that voice.
Are you saying that voice may have a copyright on it?
It might be a little bit IP.
Hello, friend. In the market for some hunting supplies?
Yep, not that. No,
Okay.
just pick a different
What
name.
was this name?
Bartimus the Fletcher.
Bartimus.
She doesn't know his name yet, but we're saying his name is Bartimus, and she goes to him and she says, "Hello, kind sir. I'm looking for some more arrows."
Ah, yeah. How you going? Looking for more arrows, huh?
Yes.
You out there on the hunt. How'd it go?
Well, gosh, it was actually pretty dire, but I'm sure you'll hear that at your next council meeting. Regardless, anyway,
Oh.
and she looks and she sees that he has some iron-tipped arrows, and some that are more polished than others, some with engravings on the arrowheads, which are so beautiful and extravagant, but beyond anything, I mean, Pym is just looking for practicality.
Yeah.
And so she's surprised to see, but she does also see, she sees some bronze arrows.
Sweet.
That are unlike anything she's ever seen. They are tipped with feathers from the plumage of birds that she has never seen before. Bright blue, impossibly blue feathers. The engravings on the arrowheads are of a different script than the common language that she's used to, a completely different alphabet.
Yeah.
And her breath is taken aback. Or her, she gasps a little and she says, "Are those elvish?"
Ah, I see you eyeing those. Yeah, special make those. Those are rare. Don't see them too often. Even these parts of the wilds, they're rare, but I got my hands on them.
How did you trade with the elves?
It's just a freak occurrence, I'm going out, right, trying to find raw material to make, looking for more feathers to pluck for these special arrows, and then just two of them passing through. No words were exchanged, but they probably spotted a fellow craftsman. I don't know, maybe they've been watching me for a while, they've seen me before, but they said nothing, came out, presented me a quiver they were wrapped in this fine material, and it was maybe 6, 7 that they had just handed to me. Didn't say a word, and thinking on my feet as fast as I could, I'm like, I can't just take this for nothing, right? So I grabbed, luckily on me I had 2 ornamental arrows that I had crafted for some of the elder, like, retired watchers that they use for, like, you have some holidays or something, you get some of the older guys out there, they want to shoot something for celebration, and it's mainly ornamental, it's not meant to strike anything, but I gave that in return, and they were gone. Left me with these. Crazy. And they're gorgeous, huh?
Pym doesn't want to betray how delighted and excited she is by these elvish arrows, but she says, "Do you have any use for dynamite?"
Wow. I like you.
And she takes out some dynamite that she's crafted. Tiny little bombs, but enough to barter with the man, and offers it on his table and folds her hands.
Here's the thing. I'd be a bit careful who you show that to around here. It's especially around Borewood. People aren't too keen on things that are artificial, that tend to destroy. Me, I tend to pass through enough. I'm not a local per se. I'm more of a transient, so I want that. But just keep that a bit on the down low around here, all right?
Sounds good. And she shakes his hand and she takes the elvish arrows
and
puts them in her quiver.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He grabs that. You could tell he looks it over. He's like, damn, and he puts it back. Because, like, whether you're the merchants around the Ironlands, they frequent one another as well.
Yeah.
And whether he can use it for himself, regardless,
or resell it,
he can use it to resell to he has possibly someone who deals in metals that he needs for iron arrowheads.
Yeah.
He's just going to flip this. He's got American pickers on the brain right now.
American pickers.
He's looking at you going, I can get $40 for that, right? Right there, that's $80.
$80.
See that that Monopoly set? $7,000 for that right there.
So she takes her arrows and she's feeling quite savvy.
Dang.
And she decides, she really could use a beverage of some kind. But she really enjoyed that elderberry beverage. So she goes, she continues walking, and just past market, there's a little tea house that is carved, once again, in a hollowed out tree trunk.
Yeah.
And there's a piece of cloth that she opens, and she enters, and it is a really beautifully decorated tea house, brewing more of this elderberry tea. And because she really does need a place to think for a second.
Grab a seat wherever you'd like. I can I'll get to you in a second. We got bench seats over there and cushions over this way.
Thank you so
We're
much.
right over with you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome on in.
And a small figure is working, just kind of brewing a ton of tea. She's got like a ton of kettles going. Upon entering, the aromas of the different spices and ingredients to make the tea, but also the whistling of a lot of different heated jars being used to just brew up hot water. It just like going off and then paring down and.
And Pym is quite delighted by all this, and quite delighted by that woman, though she couldn't quite get a word in edgewise. She sat down and she said, "Do you happen to have some of that elderberry tea?"
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see. Here we've got elderberry and morel. We've got elderberry, turmeric, ginger. We've got elderberry
Sleepy time.
We've got elderberry sleepy time. We've got let's see here.
And she is just kind of looking through like how she
you prefer it neat?
I prefer it neat, yes, if you don't mind.
Coming right up.
and she begins to pour herself a little bit of tea.
She goes, "But not the elderberry smooth move. Thanks."
Good thing you said something.
She sort of takes the current mug she has. You see her dump it in a nearby basin.
Elderberry smooth move is just thornberry tea.
Yeah.
Wink.
First time customer.
First time customer.
Yeah.
And Pym finds herself sitting on a cushion, and she looks out of the window carved out of the tree trunk, looking at market, looking at various Borewoodians, making their purchases of the day. And she is troubled, however, by this iron-wracked beast. And she really did not think that it would progress this quickly.
Yeah.
Steg peeks out of her pocket and looks at her. And she sort of just like takes a finger and pushes Steg down into her pocket and says, "Not now, friend." Because she really, from this Fletcher, she doesn't want other Borewoodians to know about Steg.
Yeah. Yeah.
She really doesn't want anyone to know about Steg, but.
There you go. One elderberry neat. And I put a little dash of cold water in it so you drink it right away. I don't know how much you can handle the hot stuff.
Well, I can't, so thank you so much.
It's lovely to meet you.
Pleasure
To
meet you.
I'm Petunia.
Petunia, hello.
I've never seen you around Boarwood before.
First timer, just passing through.
Well, that's welcome. Enjoy the view. Enjoy your tea. Need anything at all? I might be a minute, honestly. I'm stepping out for a second.
That's fine.
But if you need anything, just can it. I'll be back when I'm back.
Ironlanders are mean.
She takes off.
Old Ironlanders are so mean.
She just knows, this tea house. She maintains it, but she's not a waiter. It's rustic hospitality. We'll call it.
They're so mean. And Pym gets a little pensive, and she takes out a map. And she starts kind of looking and tracing her finger and sort of deciding next steps.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll an action theme just for fun.
Oh, cool.
Just
Nice.
for funsies.
Nice.
It's so funny. The table I most frequently roll on should be like closer. Here we go. Okay. I'm gonna roll my oracle dice on that. We're at 39. Let's see here. Ooh. I'm gonna show you what I got. And you can role play with me. I got 39 and 39.
Yeah.
Did you get that? Well, I don't know. I think. Oh, the council's coming up though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, okay. Cool. So, Pim then, after she gets out her map, she decides to, head back and check in on Tessa.
Yeah.
She goes back, she finds her way back to the Overwakers family home, and she knocks on the door, and Tessa enters. Tessa answers the door.
Oh, hey, it's you. What's up?
Well, I don't know if it's worth anything, but if there's a council coming up soon, I don't know if you're going to share the information that I shared with you.
I don't know what my mom had planned around that. I don't usually speak up too much in those, so I'm not going to say much.
But your dad is.
Yeah, mom and dad are, typically. But, I mean, like you said, you don't want us to say much detail. Okay, so you say what could be causing it, but we can't share specifically what it is, which is, like, kind of annoying, but whatever. But, yeah, we'll just sort of... We will say... I think what my mom plans to say is that we know it's something man-made.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great. And Pim says, well, it sounds like you got it covered. So I hope you have a nice day. I'm going to check out more of your town, if you don't mind. And she, leaves. She leaves. She, checks out more.
All right.
They really don't like each other.
Bye, I guess.
And so Pim continues to explore Borewood.
Can I ask, during your explanation, you're sitting on a pocket full of 3 XP. Did you want to perhaps make the advance move to upgrade one of your assets if you can find a way narratively to make that happen?
That's a great idea.
It's 3 to buy a new asset and 2 to upgrade an asset.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we
so
can
if
do
your
that.
time, if you feel like you want to go learn from somebody in advance, if you feel like you want to...
Yes, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Yes, this is so exciting. Okay, this is exactly what I had in mind as well.
Cool.
So we can kill 2 birds with one
Yeah,
stone.
just go look at the advanced move. Focus at 3 for a new asset, 2 to upgrade an existing asset.
Pim had a mild crush on Tessa, but since Tessa was being a capital BITCH to her, she was like, well, screw you. She was gonna try to hang with Tessa, but bye. She was like, well, you're a horrible person, so I'm gonna go. And that's probably why she didn't hang further, because she just was blushing again, and she just wanted to hide her face and just continue on. She goes and she wants to try to find the local tavern, and actually no, she doesn't. She wants to go explore a little bit and try to see if there's any more evidence of this iron blight coming any closer. While Tessa is kind of incapacitated, the watch is on it, but she's really troubled by the fact that there was a iron-wracked beast so close to Borewood, and before telling Mortar to warn everyone at this council, she wants to find out whether that was just an anomaly or not. So she goes, she sort of she goes down to the level of the forest, toward the gates of Borewood a little bit, but goes a little bit off the beaten path and is sort of just looking for clues. As she does this, she hears a voice say, "You better not wander too far away, little one." And she stops in her tracks because she is quite alone at this point. She's not too far away from the city, from the town, but that's not within earshot whatsoever. Who are you? She says. I'm not going to tell you who I am. I'm only here to tell you that they're looking for you. And she just circles around. She's circling around. She's trying to find, and Steg has since popped up on her shoulder and is looking as well. And she just cannot find the source of this voice. And she says, I demand that you show yourself right now, or I will throw this device. And she takes a piece of dynamite into her hand toward the direction of you. And the voice says, if you do that, that'll be in vain. Because I am everywhere around you. And you don't want to set this place on fire, do you? And she grips the dynamite, knowing he's right, and replaces it in her bandolier and says, I'm not a coward. I know that you're looking for me. But it is you who's showing cowardice and not showing your face. So, next time you want to drop me a message, you better do it in person. No reply. She is thoroughly spooked at this point, and it's getting dark.
Ooh.
And Steg gets back into her pocket, and she returns thoroughly shaken at this point back to Borewood.
Yeah.
That is how I upgrade my trickster asset.
Yeah.
By expending 2 XP. I'm going to now fill in the second dot on trickster.
Yeah.
When you gather information by investigating a devious scheme, you may roll plus shadow instead of plus wits, which is awesome for me.
Cool. Excellent.
If you do, take +2 momentum on a hit, which is awesome.
Amazing.
So she is thoroughly shaken, but is desperately trying not to show it. And she sees that the council is now gathering in the main stronghold that is the place that is used for the council. She sees Mortar and Tessa and Tava both go in, and she decides to eavesdrop.
Okay.
She doesn't want to go in because she's so clearly an outsider here, and she also doesn't want to, once again, repeat the information that she overshared. But she feels confident in the fact that she delineated what can be shared to Mortar and to Tava. She just stands just outside of the door
She hears inside.
That was nothing. My son was taken. It's getting worse. I think it's just getting worse. Benji is worried. My son is in hysterics. He's in hysterics. This can't keep happening again. Honestly, this is crazy.
The watch is on it. We assure you
that
the watch is on it.
Is it? Because my smock is damp with the tears of my baby son. He's a baby.
He's 6 years old.
He's an infant. And he was left there. First of all, I want the counselors.
Gets muddled as she goes on. And then a clearer voice who's standing closer to the door says, enough of this petty squabble. The important task at hand is figuring out what was that beast that you saw. And we hear Dran speak up.
Mm-hmm.
And Dran says,
It was a boar, big one, female. But it seemed to be sick, infected, blighted with what looked like iron all over its body, seemingly coming out of every pore of its body. Its hide seemed to be changing to the gray, metallic, had a sheen to it.
the stuff that's happening to our plants, and this is Tessa chiming in with her arm still in her sling, the stuff that's happening to our plants, the stuff that's happening to like the small foxes and like the small animals, this happened to an elder beast. And most importantly, it was aggressive.
And my son's gray. My son's gray now, and he's still crying. And I bet if he's sick with this, oh my goodness, if my son...
Dran was like, your son is not infected with the iron blight.
If he is, I'll have your job. I'll have your...
And he raises his voice and he says, listen, now is not the time for petty squabbles. Did you not hear the elder? Your son is not infected, but this elder beast was. And the elder says, this is very troubling indeed. How difficult was it to defeat this beast?
Well, you can clearly see one of our best, Tessa. Her arm still isn't right. Dirk is still recuperating. He's going to be holed up for another few days. It had an unnatural strength.
It was like insane. Tessa chimes in.
Thank you, Tessa. Your input always so specific and valued. I'm just saying it was like crazy.
And then we hear Mortar speak up. And Mortar says, it has been brought to our attention that this might not be the doings of the divines. And you hear the mystics behind him go, oh, what do you mean? Not of the divines? What you say is a blasphemy. Blasphemous.
I didn't eat lunch.
Incoherent older man babble. But it seems like he really defied his peers in saying this. And the elder says, and what reason do you have to believe that it's not the doing of the divines?
We have word, and I've seen it. I attest to the word of this individual who has said that it is a man-made, man-caused pox on our deep wilds, on our home. And
like, in order to stop it, you have to stop those people. No amount of like quarantining, I was wrong, is gonna stop the spread of this. Apparently, we have to go out and find the people who are causing this to happen.
And they continue to discuss for a little while, going back and forth. The arguments swell up again to a peak of shouting, and then they quiet down again. It is these normal council meetings. Sometimes they can take on a British Parliament vibe. Where people are shouting at each other.
Order!
But eventually things calm down, and Pym just kind of moves her shoulders kind of away from the door as she realizes the meeting is beginning to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to be doxxed as that individual. But being the newcomer in town, she, quickly turns on her heel and decides to check on Dirk in the infirmary.
Yeah.
She opens the door, and Dirk is still out to lunch, so much so that his drool is coming out of his mouth. But his wound miraculously is making progress. She can't believe whatever, incredible ingredients are in the salve. They're working very quickly.
Pass me the rock. Pass me the ball. Pass me the ball.
And Pym sits next to him and is happy to see that he is still asleep. But is very shaken by what happened to her down below. I think we're going to leave it there. Yeah. Let's leave it there.
All right.
It's a good place to leave.
What was that voice?
I don't know.
What was that voice?
What was the voice?
You secret keeper, you.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
More mysteries resolved next episode.
See you guys.
See you. Bye.